intro? You want me to intro?
I don't care.
Go for it. I don't think you've done it in a while.
In a while. Last week was our first episode in...
Listen, we can get caught up in semantics if you want.
First
Okay?
of all... What if I just talked like a toad the whole time? That'd be awful.
That would be horrible.
Chris said I should.
Hey, Mark! What you doing?
Hi, welcome back to No for No Reason.
Your whole
That was
voice
off.
would be wrecked by the end of the show.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
you would sound like a 60-year-old toad who smokes. Hey, Mario! What you doing?
Right?
I've seen some shit.
I'd be going to work tomorrow like, hi, how are you today? So the usual. Make no sense. Okay. I mean, you could totally just use that as the opening if you...
I think I might have to.
Anyways, hi, I'm Raven. I'm one of the hosts. What's up?
We're off the rails already.
Midnight train going anywhere. Mark?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Mark. I'm your other host. I'm not going to talk like Toad because I've spent the last week almost sounding like Barry White. I was sick, and guess how sick I was, Raven?
How sick were you?
I was Barry White sick. Actually,
What?
actually, I was I got the Rona. Last Sunday was a
What?
very weird day for me because we were playing. I play the drums from a church, and I was playing drums, and there was a point when, because I was feeling kind of like I felt a little scratchy throat, and I was like, it must clearly be because I'm back in Georgia off of this Hawaii trip. So, I was like, yeah, just allergies and whatever, no big deal. And there was a point when I was playing drums Sunday morning where I was forgetting how to play drums in the middle of actually playing drums. And that was a weird feeling. I was hanging on by the edge of my seat going, I don't know what's going on with me. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, just keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Came home, took the hardest, hour-long nap. I mean, I came in, head hit the pillow, I set my alarm for 60 minutes, passed out, had a full deep sleep dream, and that alarm went off, and I genuinely was just,
Where
my
am
goodness.
I?
Right. And it was Father's Day too, so like me and the kids are like hanging out, watching a movie or watching TV or whatever, and then they went to go stay at their mama's house, and we recorded, and after we recorded, I remember there was a point at the end of the show, I think I might have cut it out, I'm not real sure, where we were getting ready to go, we're signing off, and I was just like dead quiet, and you say something to the effect of going, are you going to close this out? And I was like, yes.
Oh.
And part of that reason was because I was starting to get a fever.
Oh. Well.
And I checked my temperature right about the time we got off, because I was really like super tired, and my eyes were starting to feel like weird, and I was like, and I was cold. Like, I shouldn't be cold. So I checked my temperature, and it was at 99 degrees, and I was like, that's high for me. And then I continued to keep an eye on it, and I maxed out somewhere in the realm of 102 point something around 1:30 a.m.
Oh, God.
And I take my second shower in about an hour and a half, and then I take some more Tylenol, and finally it breaks. It starts coming down at around 2:30, and I just pass out. I'm just so exhausted. I wake up the next morning, I feel like a truck hit me. It was horrible. I call my work, and this is the first time I'm supposed to be back at work in like 2 weeks. I call my work. I'm like, it ain't happening, dude. I got a fever. They're like, cool. It's all right. And I talked to Kelly, and she's like, maybe you have corona. And I'm like, no, I don't have no dango corona. She's like, you might. So I go get a test. Sure enough, got corona.
Dang, you out here getting the COVID 2024 edition.
I know, right? So, and it's weird because it's the first time that I had corona, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
Dodged it for 4 years, and yeah, I could definitely tell like the remnants of it because yesterday I went swimming at a friend's house, and I like to consider myself a good strong swimmer, as I mentioned last week after I got slammed on the rocks.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was swimming in my friend's pool, and standard size pool, backyard pool. I go down, touch the bottom, and I come back up, and I can feel it like I am winded.
I was about to say, you're over there like gasping for air.
Yes.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
horrible.
That's
So
so crazy.
if you hear me going more so than usual, that's what's going on. I'm coming off the Rona.
That's fair. Dude, I have had like a few customers that have had to like cancel because they've gotten COVID, and like a few other people have been telling me that like people that they know have been getting COVID this year. And I'm just like, man, that's crazy that people think that COVID went away.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely did not. It
No,
came and knocked
dang.
me in the dirt. Oh,
Taking you them dirt nap over there.
I was out of it. I mean, I barely left my bed for 3 days.
Oh,
And Thursday, I think it was Thursday, I was like, I have to get up and do something. Like, just go get some sunshine on my face. I don't know what I got to do, but I got to do something.
that's when you move over to the couch. That's my favorite move of being sick. You stay on the bed for so long and then you go, I can't do it anymore.
Oh,
Just go
I
to the
did
couch.
that. It was pretty much the couch or the bed, but the bed to me was just more comfortable at the time.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better though. That really sucks to be gone from work for so long and then they expect you back and you're just like, sorry guys, I got COVID.
Right. And I had to, and I worked from home Thursday and Friday, and um, and I started because I checked my email a few times and tried to answer a few emails here and there when I was gone, but when I logged into my email on Thursday, I started the day with 185 emails.
Lord.
And then I probably proceeded to get another 30 throughout the day, and I was frantically trying to like rack and stack and siphon and get through literal 3 weeks worth of emails. It was horrible.
I bet.
I did not finish on Thursday. I finished on Friday, but I'm still way behind the power curve. Like I was texting some people or emailing some people and asking questions, and they're like, "No, you." I was like, "Hey, what about this?" And they're like, well, no, you can't do that because of this. I'm like, oh, clearly I hadn't made it that far down in the email chain yet to, I'm answering a 2-week-old email when they answered it last week. So,
Yeah.
I
Dang.
was like, dude, I'm all over the place, man. You're just going to have to bear with me. He's like, it's cool. I get it.
It'd be like that sometimes.
So,
Well, how fun. So fun. Oh gosh. I haven't, I haven't been like sick in a hot minute. So just hearing that, I'm like, huh, yeah, sure, it sucks, but you like get to stay home for a week. That's all my brain thought was, man, that would be nice to get so sick. I just have to lay in bed. The
man,
dogs would be so happy.
and the funny thing is because the kind of running joke at the house is that I don't get sick. You know,
Oh,
I get
Yeah.
sick. If I get sick, I get like a little throat thing and I sound like Barry White for a week and then I'm done. That is my level of sickness. This is the first time I've had a fever since probably 2019 when I got the flu. So
Oof.
pre-COVID,
Yeah.
you know, I had the flu. Ironically, it was right before I had to go on a business trip to South Carolina. I had to drive 4.5 hours to Greenville, South Carolina, with
Oh,
with 101 fever.
I don't know how you did that.
It was horrible. I couldn't eat. All I wanted to do was sleep. I got there. I get to the hotel. There's another guy who came from Ohio to meet me there, and I said, "Listen, dude." He called me up. He said, "Hey, man, do you want to ride to the place tomorrow from the hotel because we're staying at the same hotel?" And I said, "No, because I have the flu. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't know if I'm contagious, but you know, I got the flu. You don't need to be in the same vehicle with me."
Yeah.
And this man literally goes, "But we're going to the same place." And I said, "My dude, I have the real, verified, tested flu. I am sick. I don't want you to get what I got."
Yeah.
And he goes,
But
"But
I
we
don't
could ride in the same
understand.
car." Yeah, he goes, but we could ride in the same car. I said, "Cool, meet me at 7. Let's rock and roll, dude. I told you twice. I ain't going to tell you a third time.
I
I
mean,
gave you plenty of warning.
then
Let's ride."
you get the chance to not have to drive and just be like, I'm gonna pass out for just a little bit. Thanks.
They wanted to walk everywhere. I was
Oh God.
miserable. I felt so bad. We get there and they're wanting to walk around and do all this other stuff, and I was just, oh my God, I could not. Oh, oh.
Not
I
living the sweet life of Zach and Cody.
No, I was not. Absolutely not. So,
Oh. Well, this has been Doctor Talk. Doc Talk. The Doc Talk corner. That's rough. Yeah.
it's the flu files. Bop, 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 boom. So, all right, let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted because I got a feeling this whole episode's going to be wild. Raven, did you watch the Nintendo Direct this week?
No.
How dare
But you know who did?
Who did?
Probably Christopher. Probably
Well,
that guy.
Probably. Should we talk to Chris?
Yeah, you should probably talk to Chris. Give me a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, my brother and yours, Chris.
All right, I'm gonna hand him my headset.
Okay. Fireworks, explosions.
Hello.
Hey, man.
What's up?
Nothing. What you up to?
Nothing.
All right. So, did you watch the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, I watched it. I woke up early that morning accidentally and wound up just watching it live instead of later.
So let me ask the question that
Wow.
I guess everyone asks on every podcast this week. What'd you think of the whole thing in general?
There was some cool stuff. There was some filler. And then, as we've already talked about, there's one thing that I'm very angry about. But very cool thing at the beginning. Very cool thing at the end. And then some stuff in the middle.
All right. So what was the cool thing at the beginning?
So Luigi, the Mario and Luigi brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing looks fun. That looks like a really fun little silly RPG game. I think that's cool.
So I don't think that I've ever played a quote unquote Mario and Luigi game.
Yeah, I think they've only made maybe one. Maybe they've made more, but they've made some various Mario RPGs.
Yeah, I think the Mario and Luigi games were specifically made for the handheld systems pre-Switch. Your Game Boys, your DSs.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think that they particularly came out on. So I didn't really have a handheld. I did, but I had like one or two games for it, and you know, it really kind of wasn't on my radar too much. they announced a new Super Mario Party game.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Sometimes they're good, and then sometimes they put a bunch of weird extra stuff in them, and they're not good. Like, was
Yeah.
it like Super Mario Party?
Yeah.
That one was. I think that was the one that was like not great.
Yeah, and I think Mario Party needs to kind of adopt the kind of rolling game board thing. Like, you buy the game, you have it for life, and then they just keep updating it. Like, we can do seasons or something like that. Make it free and then pay for the season, something, because it's one of those games, like, it's a fun game. I've enjoyed playing Mario Party games, but I think we're kind of at the point, like this in Mario Kart, where you just need to just update them.
Yeah, upgrade boards and then games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, new Donkey Kong Country?
Yeah. I was never a huge fan of Donkey Kong Country. Just personally, nothing wrong with the games. It's just personal flavor on it. I was like fine with it, but it's cool. It looks good.
Dragon Quest 3.
Yeah,
HD remake.
That one looks really cool, and kind of I think it's a cool aesthetic to make it a 2D HD remake. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I also love that the monsters, when you're in the middle of a fight, have like more defined sprites, but your sprite is still like NES sprite.
Yeah.
I think that looks really funny, but I love it. I think it's really quirky and goofy. But I don't know a whole lot about those games.
I've only played the newest one that's come out. I think it's 11.
Yeah.
Loved it. Thought it was a super fun game. The last little bit of the only part that I didn't like about the newest game is like the last, right before you get to the big bad. It's a lot of backtracking. It's like go to point A, or go from A to B, and then go back to A, and then you got to go to C, and then back to A, and then back to B, and then back to A, and you're just like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, that's fun.
And it's very linear, so you can't. It's a lot of kind of backtracking, but other than that, it was a really super fun game. One of the super big highlights for me was the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection.
Dude, yes. I was so excited when it was like, Marvel's going to take you on a ride. And I was like, oh, I know the song. Oh!
And what's so funny about this is I was busy doing other stuff. I think I was actually working, and I took a break and popped on Twitter or TikTok or one of those things, and it was just reel after reel after reel of people reacting to Marvel vs. Capcom, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It was between this and the next one we're gonna the next three we're gonna talk about, but it was, yeah. I think this might have been one of the biggest announcements that they made that people were genuinely hyped about.
I don't think they were expecting it to be as big of an announcement either. Like, a big announcement, but I don't think they were thinking that this would be the biggest one for so many people. I think they forgot how big the MVC like fan base is.
Right. And this, because they're doing all the stuff that we wish we could have done back in the day. Because I remember when a lot of these games hit the arcade back in like 96, late 90s, early 2000s. This was my jam. This game ate up a lot of quarters. And then when it came out on systems like the Dreamcast, especially the Dreamcast, it was awesome, dude. Like, this is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, and it's online, right?
Yes.
As long as Nintendo's online is okay, then awesome.
Yep.
Because that's going to kill the game. Unfortunately, is if the online's garbage, people are gonna drop it.
Yep. So, all right. Let's see. I guess we'll talk about the good one before we talk about the bad one.
Okay.
So one of the biggest announcements, we finally got gameplay footage and a kind of rough release date, if you will, of Metroid Prime 4. A game that's been teased for how long?
It was announced at E3 2017.
Yes.
So 6 years ago.
Yeah.
In fact, reading that it was announced at E3 is a long time ago at this point.
Right. So they finally got Metroid Prime. We got some gameplay footage. It looks good. It looks very Doom and Halo-ish.
Yeah, it does. The first shot that they showed off, I was like, oh, this looks like Halo.
Yeah.
This looks very much like Halo. Wow. In like a good way. I think it looks great, and I hope that it is great.
So I have faith. I think this is going to be a fun game. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. A lot of people are speculating that this is going to come out for Switch 2. This is going to be one of the launch titles for it. So we'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see what happens.
It could that could probably move some units if they did that.
I think so.
Yep.
All right. On to the one that I can't wait to hear Chris's opinion again on it. Chris, why don't you tell me what you think of The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom?
They had a great idea that they could have used and they fucking didn't. So, everything about this game, or not everything, one major part about this game is just the worst decision that I feel like they could have made. I was watching the game, or watching the trailer, and I was like, okay, I think it looked like it was probably like Link to the Past.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, cool, whatever, neat. And then Link gets sucked up. I was like, oh, shit, we get to play as Zelda. That's going to be awesome. She's magical. She's got cool magic abilities. And then they give her a wand so she can throw furniture. Cool. This could have been 2 games. This could have been a game where you get to play as Zelda and go rescue Link. And it could be that she has a bunch of different magic abilities that you unlock throughout the game. And it would be awesome. That would be really cool. Instead, they took what should have been its own separate IP, which Nintendo also needs, and just said, what if we just give Zelda a random wand so she can copy things and just summon them? And I think that it's going to be boring eventually. Rather than having a really cool story, I think it's going to get a little old to be like, all right, I need to put a bookshelf here, and I need to put a chair here so I can climb up on the chair, and then I can climb up on the bookshelf, and then I can climb up on this ledge so that I can then summon a moblin so the moblin can fight this thing for me while I try to run around, and then I'll summon a rock and throw the rock at the guy. But I think it'd be really cool if you just had different spells. Think about it, right? A Legend of Zelda game where the focus on it is magic instead of just slashing stuff with a sword. I think that would be cool, and I don't think that's what this is.
So, here's what I'm going to say to counteract everything that you just said.
Yep.
There have been times in the past where people have been like, this is dumb. What do you mean Link gets to turn into a dog? I don't understand that. That's going to be dumb. What do you mean this cartoon Link is going to be on a boat? That's dumb. I hate the way this looks. This is a dumb game. So.
Okay, so that one specifically, I can absolutely counter the second one. The fervor for that one specifically with Wind Waker was because they showed off a tech demo of Link fighting Ganon, and it looked completely different than the cel-shaded cartoon. So people were super upset. I was super upset, but it was super fun, and I get it now. Like when you start playing it, like, yeah, this is a game where you walk around, you copy furniture, and then you just make it.
You say that all right now. See, you have
that's fine.
You say that now, and when it comes out and we play it, and you're like, okay, I get it now.
Here's the reason. Okay,
I want you to come back on this and go, okay.
It won't have to happen because again, Zelda is magical. She has magic powers. She has in most of the games she's been in, even if it has just been that she's handing Link the light arrows. The light arrows, mind you, very powerful, Mark. We all know that. Don't scoff at me. So So instead of magic, right? They just give her this wand. That would be like making a Kirby game where you don't have powers, you just roll around. That was a game, Mark, and it sucked. That was a Game Boy game where you're Kirby and you roll around and you just run into things. It sucked. They took what could have been sick, and then they gave it a dumb gimmick. And Nintendo loves to do this.
Well, I look forward to playing this game, and I look forward to you coming back on here after we both play this game and talking about it. It comes out when? September. It comes out in September.
Good. My birthday. Great. I won't play it.
Yep. Guess what you're getting for your birthday?
Great. I can't wait to throw it away.
Oh, all right.
It could have been cool, man.
It's still going to be cool,
it's
man.
It's not.
You remind me of them people who were like, I can't believe Heath Ledger's playing the Joker. You mean that asshole from 10 Things I Hate About You? Oh my God.
No, because he can act. Zelda has magic.
That's
Give her
that's
innate
not what
magic.
I heard. That's not what I heard in 2007.
I don't know.
Oh my God, I can't believe this guy's going to play the Joker. Meh.
Well, sorry, you're much older than me, so I don't actually remember that discourse. I'm so sorry.
Well, listen, I can't wait for the new Ace Attorney Investigations collection.
I never played those games.
I didn't either.
I never fully understood what the gameplay of those were. Because I know that they're like a kind of mystery-ish, but then also lawyer. And I don't know how you make that into a game.
I don't know. But apparently they're really popular, so.
Yeah, they are.
There's that.
Kudos to them. Hopefully people like them, so hopefully they make another good one.
Yeah.
Or remake them, whatever.
All right, man. Well, listen, let me holler back at Raven. Thank you for coming on and talking with everybody about the Nintendo Direct this week.
Yeah. Just remember, everybody, they could have gave her... Oh, I will say, something else that I thought would have been really funny that I didn't think would ever happen, but I still thought it would be maybe fun, was... Because it's a top-down Zelda game, right? And then she's magical, so I was like, oh, what if we get like a bullet hell top-down twin-stick shooter of the Zelda game? That'd be weird. Would have been better than what we got.
So much hate.
Yeah. Raven, Mark's ready for you. Keep this in. Don't cut this out. Don't edit any of this out. Oh, wait. Are you guys about to talk about the movie?
Yes.
Hey, let me have Raven come here, and then I'm going to pass the headset to you because I want to be the one to get to ask this question because Raven and I already watched this movie once. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
What did you think of Saltburn?
Okay, so you guys had already seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now's the point when, Raven, I want you to open up the notes and I want you to see the very last thing that I put. And I want you to read that for the audience.
Guys, I was not expecting to see 1, a dick, 2, the guy fucking a grave. What the fuck am I watching, Raven? Yeah.
Okay, go down three more things or three more lines.
That was the end of the page. Sorry. Here's a dance scene with just dick flopping around everywhere. Man.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I didn't like a whole lot about this movie.
How sick were you when you were watching this as well?
Actually, I watched this like just a couple days ago, so not too awfully sick.
Okay.
Thank goodness, because if I would have watched this in a fever-induced Rona haze, God, I think I tried to watch it on Monday because I was like, I got some time. Let's start watching it. The first half of this movie is so excruciatingly slow.
Yeah.
It is so slow. Oh my God, Jesus, it is so slow. And then once they go to Oliver's house and meet his parents and like kind of the gig is up, it turns into a vastly better movie.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure.
Yes. But that's also when it goes really off the rails, like super duper off the rails for me. There's a lot, man. I will not go back and watch this movie. It was,
Damn.
it was honestly, it was too slow for me. The last 45 minutes doesn't make up for the first hour.
Okay.
Because it was just, I was like, come on, man. Like, I don't know when this is going to pick up, but it's got to. Man, I was dying a slow death. Raven, what did you think of Saltburn?
So this was my second time watching it through. I actually had a friend recommend it to me because she was like, "Have you seen this movie?" Because she sent me like some meme, and I was like, "What is this?" And it had to do with the bathtub scene. And
Oh, God.
she was like, "You've got to watch it." And I was like, "I haven't heard anything about it." And last year, it was like the rave and review. It was what people were watching and talking about. And you and I somehow just missed it.
Yeah.
So at some point, I watched it earlier this year. And I was like, that was insane. And so when you were like, hey, pick a movie, and I gave you 3 movies, and I go, they're all kind of psychologically fucked up. You picked the worst one
Yeah.
to watch. So I enjoy this movie. Yeah, it is a bit slow, but there is so much chaos and deception just going on throughout it that watching it for like the second time. And I think the first time I was drinking. So that also like helped me to be like, I don't know what's happening. So a lot of this time rewatching it and really having like a sober mentality on it, I was like, yo, this is actually really good. So
all right.
tell me what you hate.
I got a lot of Parasite vibes. This seems like I want to be
Okay.
Parasite, but I also want to be British at the same time. And have you seen Parasite?
Yeah.
Okay, so Parasite to me was also a slow burn. And it's a lot of the same similar kind of structure where people, this guy infiltrates his family and then slowly, he is the one in charge, right? And the only thing that didn't happen that kind of surprised me is I thought for sure the workers, the maids, the butlers, especially the head butler, were going to help him kill off that family.
That's fair.
But they didn't. But I can't say, this is one of those movies similar to last week where everyone acted how they were supposed to act. And I knew 15, 20, 30 minutes in, I was like, cool, Oliver is going to kill this rich boy. And then when they get to Saltburn, I was like, cool, Oliver is going to kill all of these people. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know they're going to do it. We need to go ahead and get on with the killing.
Fair. Yeah.
Especially,
Well, he's got to get in their brains, Mark.
Yeah, but we didn't need the scene where my man goes to town on old girl underneath of his window. We didn't need that scene.
But we
there was
could
a
keep
lot
the
of
bathtub, the grave scene.
right. Well, boy, we did not need that grave scene. We did not need that grave scene at all.
The grave scene, I don't know if you've looked at anything about this movie. He did that all on his own. Nobody asked him to do that.
See, I didn't need to know that.
He was going for the win, for the Oscar, the Emmy, the whatever. He wanted it all.
Yeah, he did. Jeez. There's just, it was just so much once it started going, like once it really started going off the rails, and I was supposed to be uncomfortable. I get that. But it also kind of very much felt like the director going, and the actors, now that I know he did that unprovoked, where it's just like, this is art. You can't tell me what I'm doing because I'm an artist and I'm just so art and art and art. Smell my farts. I'm an artist. That's kind of where I kind of felt like it was going. Like, we're just being dramatic and crazy. Look at how, how tense this is, how awkward it is because we're artists. And I kind of don't like that.
Gotcha. I don't. So I do like movies like that. It's more of when I watched Hereditary or Midsommar, like those were a bit over the top for me. Like they were supposed to give you that same uncomfortable feeling, but it was like 20 times worse. Where like you watch people die in the most insane ways.
Mm.
So that's why I think I really like this movie, is because essentially the deaths are all like relatively easy. So you just get all the like insanity of it all.
I will say I do like at the end when Oliver is, saying his
little monologue thing.
Yeah, his little monologue thing, and I'm like, oh, cool. This is like a Knives Out mystery. Like everything's coming together, man. I thought it would have been neat if he would have somehow planned the main guy's the father's death.
Mm-hmm.
But he took care of everyone else at some point, and essentially got in the will. But it was it was cool how like everything kind of came together, and I was like, all right, that's cool. I like this. And yeah. I wrote I wrote in my notes, Saltburn should have been called Slow Burn. Am I right?
God bless.
I will not apologize for that joke. Also got a lot of Fatal Attraction vibes too.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
So, and I knew I knew right from the get-go when Oliver's first friend was like, "Oh, they're the popular people who would want to get an invite to that Christmas party anyway." I'm like, "My man, you are going to be out of this movie in 10 minutes." You said
when he was when he was over there like, "Ask me a sum," and he was like, "No, I don't really want to." Ask me a sum. And then it had like that whole dramatic scene, and everyone's just like, And then he was like, "This times this," and he just gives him the answer. I was like, I don't know who's more psychotic now.
Yeah. Felix was insanely charming and had zero effort in trying to be charming. I liked his character because he seemed like a noble idiot, and I love noble idiots. Where he's dumb, and he's I think the more kind of modern slang term would be a himbo. Where
so true, bestie.
He is where he he's this good-looking dude, and really on the surface, I mean, he means well. He's not really a malicious kind of person.
Yeah. It's more of Farley that's over there like, "Man, you don't belong here, bitch." And everyone else is like, "Neither do you." Farley was on some shit too.
Oh,
he tried to put Oliver down at every cost, and then Felix is over there like, "Dude, stop. You don't need to do this. He's cool. He's not trying to kill us. Like all of us. He's not trying to get with my sister and my mom." And you. And me. No feelings for Dad, though. It's okay.
Right. The dad's just over there like, "What, man? You don't love me?"
We're all just having a great time. The parents being like the type that are not wanting to talk about like insane like traumas and stuff, just trying to ignore it all. I feel that. I feel that so deep in my soul.
Really?
Yeah.
See, not me. I talk about everything.
Well, in the sense that like of how I grew up, where it's like we just kind of ignore things. That's a very like it's just embedded into my brain of like, something bad happened, just don't talk about it. It's cool. And I'm like, hey, it's okay. It's okay.
That might be why I talk about everything now.
Yeah, that can be honest.
I mean, them guys at work, I'm sure they probably get an earful from me where I'm just like, oh man, you'll never believe what happened at school or at work or blah 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 blah. Let me tell you everything about my what's going on with my kids and my family and everything else. Yeah, no, I talk about 90% of my real life with my coworkers, whether they want to hear it or not. So too bad, guys.
Hey, being an open book is okay. When you mentioned him meeting the parents, like Felix meeting Oliver's parents, how'd that make you feel? To know that homeboy was like straight up lying about everything.
Oh man. I knew that he was clearly lying about something when he was like, "Oh, I can't go home and my mom's real sick." And then like the drive there when he started freaking out, I was like, "Oh, it's a lie." And then after, I didn't know how big it was going to be until he said, "Oh, his dad's in the back." I was like, it's all a lie. Everything. How bad has this man lied? Like I was on the edge of my seat. And when the mom does what moms do, go, "Oh, I'm so proud of him because he's like the top scholar and doing this and he's not doing all these things." And you just see Felix kind of like, it's all like this weird mix. And I really like, this was one of the parts where I did genuinely love Felix acted his tail off during this section because you see this look of like, I caught this guy inadvertently in a lie and he was supposed to be my friend and I've helped him out. Like this look of incredulous kind of disbelief.
Yeah.
Where you just like, huh, you little turd. And he's just like, no, we'll stay for dinner. Of course we will, because he's like, I want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
For real. Especially when they were like, "Oh yeah," and his sisters, and he's like, I thought you told me you were an only child." No, I've always talked about my sisters.
Right.
That cracked me up so hard, just him saying it like that. But dude, when they go back home and it's like the whole party thing, and Felix is just straight up like, "I don't want to fucking talk to you. Don't you ever talk to me again." And Oliver's like, "We can still be friends. It's still cool." And then he just follows him around the whole party.
Right.
Insanity. Absolutely. Like, you shouldn't be doing this stuff. Just give up.
Right.
And just do what, like, Farley was saying, where you're like, this is the greatest moment of my life, and I will forever have to tell my kids and grandkids about this time that I could have just been... This could have been me, but I fucked it all up. And then Felix dies. R.I.P.
Yep. Oh, what'd you think of the karaoke scene?
God. So you have that first guy doing like his bit, and everyone's like, okay, that's enough of him. And Farley gives him the mic, and Oliver's like, I don't know this song. I'll just read it. And then it got so quiet, with everyone just being like, oh, this is in poor taste. And of course, Farley's like, yeah, it's in poor taste. Let me get on it.
Yeah.
Like,
And the beginning of this scene was such a lighthearted interjection. I was like, oh man, thank God. Because another thing that I kind of didn't like about this movie is every scene, to me, even the scenes that are outside and meant to be lighthearted, are still so heavy. Everything, I guess because Oliver is stone-faced for 90% of this movie, he doesn't have any kind of reaction, or I'm just waiting for him to just flip. but every scene is so heavy, and then we do the dinner party scene where the wife is like, no, I hate this dude. You know, we are a begrudging old married couple. We've been married for too long. This man gets on my nerves every waking moment of the day. And then they get to karaoke and he's singing and I'm like, yes, great moment of hilarity in the middle of this movie. 30 seconds. And then we're back to Oliver talking to Farley. And it gets heavy again. And I'm like, oh God, I'm so tired of this being here. This movie was emotionally exhausting on me.
Well, especially after you had COVID. If you had told me that you had been sickly sick, I probably would have just been like, oh, here, let's do this fun little marshmallow happiness.
No, next week, I don't know what we're doing next week, but next week we got to do something goofy. We got to do something fun and just, I don't know. We need to watch a movie and just come in here and just have fun talking shit on that movie for 2 hours. I need another Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, God.
Ooh, I just thought, no, we're not going to do that. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Many times in my notes, what the fuck am I watching, Raven?
Lol.
The bathwater scene. Ooh, boy. Is it too late to say that I've been uncomfortable this whole movie?
Yeah.
If I could sum up this movie in one word, it would be uncomfortable.
I'd say.
The older redheaded lady who was there, and then they kicked her out, and then
she died.
Yeah, and then she died. Here's what I'll say about that. She struck me as the kind of person who very much, when she don't know when to say, cool, I'm going to get out on my own and do my own thing, even though people around her have been hinting and hinting and hinting, to go and do, and, get out and be on your own and live your own life and blah, 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 blah. I know people like that a lot. So yes, kick her out, because there's only so much you can do for a person before they have to be forced to help themselves. And yes, I get it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I think we covered everything I want to talk about. Is there anything else you want to cover?
No, but I guess to those that have not seen this movie, just watch the ending of the Saltburn dancing. That's all I'm gonna put out there about this movie. I love it so much. Anytime I hear that song now, I'm like, oh, is it that time?
Listen, I was trying to figure out if there was a way that I could hilariously make an edit of that and put it up on our socials. And I don't know how I can do it.
Yeah, good luck.
I've thought about different ways to do it, but I'm not sure.
You'll just have to put a blurred line across a certain part of him for a good bit.
Oh, I was trying to think of the funniest way to do that, and I just wasn't sure. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. But at the same time, I will say this. What's the actor's name? Barry Keoghan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good job, my dude. Good job. We'll say congratulations on the genetic lottery, my man. So, all right. Are you ready to move on?
Sure.
All right. Let's move on to my favorite part of the week every week, where we talk about what has made us happy. We be thankful. We be thankful for the little things in our life, no matter how big or small. And Raven, what has made you happy this week?
This week was actually a shorter week for me because I get like one Friday off a month. So my boss can do like van maintenance and do whatever she needs to. And so I had a 3-day weekend and it was so nice. And I've been wanting
Awesome.
to make homemade spaghetti sauce and meatballs for like 3 or 4 weeks now. And so I finally did that last night and it was so incredible. It was so delicious. And this weekend I went and hung out with one of my coworkers. She's the newest person that is on our team. She is from Maryland and she really loves Dolly Parton. And I found that a specific place was doing like a Dolly Parton theme for the month of June. And then there was another little art place that's like a door down. And I really like going there because it's just a bunch of local artists and they had like a bunch of Dolly Parton stuff in there too. So I was like, hey, if you want to go do this, we can go do this. That'd be fun. We ended up hanging out for like 6 hours just at like the one bar, and then we went to another bar, and it was just fun. And it made me happy to just like get to spend some time with a new friend. And
Cool.
yeah, how about you? What's made you happy this week?
Uh, I think it was last week. It had to have been last week. Last week I mentioned that I got a promotion at work, and there was a big kind of I don't want to say scandal. We'll just say kerfluffle, if you will, around the whole thing where
Yeah.
my boss told me, said, "Hey, you got the job," and I was like, "Cool, thank you." And I was waiting on word from my HR department to say, "Cool, here's your quote unquote formal job offer." And come to find out, someone at a different base thought that I just did not accept the offer for whatever reason. So they gave it to the next
Runner up.
person in line.
Yeah.
And was it Monday or Tuesday? I guess it was Tuesday. Tuesday, I logged onto my computer for like an hour just so I could do like one thing and hop back off and go crawl back into bed. And during that hour I was on, everyone saw my little Teams light go green and just started bombarding me. Hey, Mark, blah, 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 we got these questions. And right as I'm in the middle of this one call trying to get this wrapped up as soon as possible, my phone rings and it didn't come up and say likely spam. It was from, a local number. I'm like, this is weird. So I call it or I answer it and it's like, hey, we're from HR. We just want to know if you accept this job. And I'm like, of course I do. And they're like, awesome. Will this date work for you? And it's like 2 weeks from now. And I'm like, yes. Because this lady don't know any better. She's thinking I'm like changing offices and I got to notify my current supervisor and all this. I'm not even changing desk. So I was like, yes, please make it happen. So then I got to fill out paperwork. So now officially in 2 weeks, I will be officially promoted. And then 2 weeks after that, I get my first paycheck and I can see how much more money I'm going to make.
Hey.
So yeah. So yeah, good times. I'm excited. Can't wait. And I think when I get to work tomorrow, I'm going to go in my boss's office and go, hey, listen, I got to report to my new job in a couple of weeks. So I just want you to know you're going to need to start handling some of this stuff. But yeah, that's for sure what's made me happy. I'm glad to finally get that in the rearview mirror because, I mean, literally I was notified like a month ago that I got the job.
Yeah.
So
Nice. Congratulations.
thank you.
Clap, clap, clap. I'm not going to actually clap in the mic.
Bow, 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 bow.
Bow, 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 bow.
All right. Raven, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on the social media?
If you go on the old Twitter, you can find me at spooky_Raven or on the Instagram at That's a Raven Ellis. You can also find this cute little podcast on whatever platform you want to look at Nerd for No Reason. Mark, where are you?
I am on all social medias at Turtles Do It. I am not that hard to find. Y'all hit me up, say what's up, say hi. And
Hi.
yeah, it's I'm glad that you guys listen to this show. This is honestly one of my most fun times every week. It's hard for me not to say, oh, what was your fun thing you did during the week? It's record this podcast. I love doing it with my favorite co-host Raven, and I love sitting here talking with all of y'all. It's great. Plus, I get to watch great movies where dudes get to do unmentionable things to grave sites. Never would have seen that were it not for this show. So
Thanks, man.
No.
That's what I like to do. I like to keep it funky fresh out here. You show me the worst movie of some guy fighting beavers, and I show you someone screwing a grave.
Yes, they're almost the same movie.
Yeah. They both take time off of our lives.
Right. Oh, man. All right. Well, with that, everybody, you guys go do something wonderful in the world this week.
Go enjoy all of the coolest, latest, rarest medias possible, and we'll see you again next week on the Nerd for No Reason podcast. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Nerd for No Reason podcast. You can find us on all major social media platforms at Nerd for No Reason. Our podcast music is Memories in 8-Bit by Deanna Joan, aka Fergie's Human. You can follow her on Twitter at Deanna Joan Music and check out her other social media links in the show notes of our podcast.